Hello, friends. It's Chop. Basically, some wretched, some wretched Oliver Twist style urchins threw their gruel at a Van Gogh painting. They
Oh
they
God.
they tried to ruin Van Gogh's sunflowers with gruel, because they wanted more gruel. No, it's because they wanted to end oil now, and people are very upset about this. Guys, Van Gogh, classy or trashy? Need it or keep it? Van Gogh's sunflowers. Need it or keep it?
I mean, they didn't even do anything to it. That's like it does. It seems like we're at this place where things are designed for maximal shock value, but even then, like there is this resistance to pushing past some idea of propriety. Like very British, it feels like we still don't want to upset things too much, even though we want to give the impression that we're like at the end of our rope and we're finally saying no to this carbon society that's killing us. They're just like, yeah, but like actually ruin a painting. No, we'll put some soup on the frame, basically. And then people will talk about it, and then the talking about it will what exactly? I still don't get how.
Right.
Don't we have all the awareness?
Yeah, that's the defense of it I've seen. That people are like, oh, well, you're talking about it, and it's like,
No, people are talking
I
about
think-
how
I think
annoying
that's-
these fucking kids are.
well, yeah, but they're like, that's the tactic, was to get you to talk about it. But it's like, no, people know about this. They just don't like thinking about it. We're at maximum penetration for awareness. Believe me, this is just like as aware as people seem they want to be about it, because they kind of rightfully pick out that they seem pretty powerless in the face of it.
Yeah, like at a certain point, if there is nothing to do with if there's no clear path to take your awareness of something, then the rational thing to do is to kind of just try to tune it out, which as a media consumer you are free to do. Then you can turn any thing that makes you have to think about it for a minute into a kind of meta discussion like this, for example.
Yeah. I mean, there are stages to the climate thing. It's like grief. Like one of the stages is this, like the idea that like, oh, just people have to know about it, then everything changes. It's like an outgrowth of that like late 90s, early 2000s thing that if you just solve money and politics, everything else follows.
Yeah.
But after that comes the sort of self-flagellating thing, the first worlders being like, we're all gonna die, us especially in America.
Yeah,
because
right.
isn't that always how it works? The people who are most culpable die first,
Right.
but no one has quite reached the stage that like, even in the end of the world, you're still you're still who you are. You have your same desires and fears, and you still probably have your job. But the thing that you have to live with will be your government probably just gunning down more boats of refugees than you've ever seen in your life, and you have to figure out what that means to you.
Yeah.
That is a stage no one quite wants to get to.
Well, you said that the idea here is that if people don't want to think about climate change and about how carbon and petroleum is killing the planet and going to cause the extinction of civilization, well, then you certainly shouldn't be allowed to think about Van Gogh and his fucking flowers. Well, I'll say the museum and the Van Gogh estate, this is a perfect example of why NFTs are so important.
It's true.
Because if they had made sunflowers into a blockchain backed NFT, then they could piss on it themselves. They could fucking put it through a shredder. It doesn't matter. It's on the blockchain now. And in fact, it's better because now it can be customizable. It's in Meta now, and you can deface it in Meta.
Yeah, I mean, there are legs now. You can kick it. What do you guys think about like the idea that this is like a false flag? Because I do.
Okay, I was just going to bring that up.
I definitely think that like a lot of Extinction Rebellion shit is false flag.
The British, the entire British anti climate change movement that's kind of popped up very quickly and is like not even hiding it, but is explicitly funded in a lot of cases by like hedge funds.
Okay. Yeah, well, okay, let me
certainly eyebrow raising.
The activist group who did the gruel splattering. Would you take a guess at who is one of the major funders of the Climate Action Network? Yes, it is the Getty heiress. It is the heiress to one of the largest oil fortunes in the world. is funding this like umbrella network of quote grassroots activist groups that finance high profile direct actions like this all over the globe.
Okay,
Now,
yeah,
I just have to wonder whether the heiress to one of the world's largest oil fortunes has any vested interest in making any activism against the oil industry seem like it's done by fucking spoiled brats and annoying children.
No, that's more immaterial to me than some of the stuff with Extinction Rebellion and their links to like MI5 and shit like that. That's
Okay.
because because like, okay, what do we know about people who inherit or happen into billions of dollars? Like look at Steve Jobs' widow. Or Mackenzie Bezos. They don't know what the fuck is going on because
they feel guilty. They feel bad,
guilty,
and they want to do something about it. It's indulgences.
Right. What is Mackenzie Bezos given like billions of dollars to? It's always like the BIPOC puppet theater. It's just like the fucking goofiest and shittiest NGO she can find because she feels guilty. I don't think this is quite a gotcha with them because if I had to guess over what this Getty heiress is like, I would presume like a guilty college graduate, probably more college than average, who's like, oh my God, I have to find good activism means never being comfortable or some other thing that she saw like on a chalkboard. Yeah. And so she went, what's the least comfortable seeming activism? It's these soup girls. Here's $1 million. I think with Extinction Rebellion, that is, I think there's more smoke and fire when there's like active links to the security state than when it's just like a goofy heiress, in my opinion.
I mean, the thing is, this is where we are. You have a situation where if this Getty heiress is some Captain Planet villain trying to discredit climate change activism, or a fully earnest person who genuinely does, with all of her heart, want to fix this. At least she thinks she does. The result would be the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
Many such cases. Many such cases.
And what is the solution to climate activism? What is the maximally effective way to do it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like people talk about like the need to do the real question, and the one that is difficult to talk about, is at what point, if you're like really committed, do you have to accept that there's nothing that you can do that you could really talk about, if you know what I mean? There's nothing that you could do that you could organize around publicly. And that is very challenging because, one, that's really, the discourse is where we gain our political like consciousness these days. So like having to organize outside of it is a huge challenge. And also it implies a degree of risk that most people, no matter how bad they think things are going to get, don't really want to deal with. I mean, like I said, they didn't even actually ruin the painting. It's like there's this line that people who really care about climate change aren't going to cross, because the people who worry about climate change qua climate change are the people who realistically are not going to be truly affected by it in their lifetime, probably. So their sacrifice is not even like the desperate gambit of somebody who knows like the future is going to be worse than anything they can imagine, so they might as well do something. It's probably not the case. I mean, they're probably acting out of a abstract sense of a global citizenry that they're trying to stand up for. But that's a hard thing to square with personal sacrifice at this point in our history.
I think that if I have to take a wild guess, who are the most effective environmental activists, it would probably be the people that the federal government threw the fucking book at from the mid 90s to the early 2000s. Like
the so-called eco-terrorists.
Yeah.
Who set like SUVs. I mean, I don't know, like, property destruction or things like that. But yeah, like, the shit, like they put people in jail for filming inside of slaughterhouses.
Yeah, I would have to guess that it's the people who had the maximum amount of state resources and persecution thrown at them. The people that Robert Mueller
that is
built
usually
his career.
They put they put the hammer down where they think they need to.
Exactly.
Well, I hope these bloody tossers get the book thrown at them. I hope they should be cleaning up paintings for the rest of their life.
Like,
did you
Dana Barrett and Ghostbusters too?
Did you see Did you see the one of the things on this was someone going like, "Oh, I saw this, and I was googling to see if Van Gogh was a colonizer, and he wasn't."
What are you talking about? He was fucking
colonizer.
He was Dutch.
colonized. He colonized the south of France by like he was painting all of their fucking landscapes and then claiming it for himself back in fucking Holland. Don't give me that Van Gogh wasn't a colonizer shit.
He did that potato eaters painting. He never ate a potato. That's appropriation.
Oh, and his good friend Gogh. Oh, you better believe he was a colonizer. You better believe he was a colonizer.
Yes, that's some colonizing there.
That's
some
facts.
That's some real stuff.
Arles. He wasn't from Arles. He was being a tourist there, and he was not supporting the local community.
I think everyone should always feel bad for Van Gogh because what a shitty life.
It's true.
Yeah, like take
another annoying mentally ill person. Get out of here, buddy. Stop bothering me.
Okay, no, he was not an annoying mentally ill guy because he didn't have access to mass communication.
I mean, he was probably annoying to that chick he sent his ear to.
Yeah, he was
okay.
Individual communication was annoying enough.
Okay. How come we don't know what she did?
She might have thought, "Oh my god, that's the most romantic thing I've ever seen."
Well, what if she had said? So what if she had been like, "I'll go out with you if you cut off your ear," and that's lost to time, and we only know him as the sad ear guy.
It's possible.
The patron saint of guys who are like, "If you leave me, I'll kill myself," but much more talented. Who's to say? Was Van Gogh like one of those emo guys who's always trying to grab his girlfriend's wrist in public and scream "wait"? Or was he a sensitive artist who was tricked into cutting off his ear and grossing everyone out by an evil woman? Welcome to my next true crime series. Van Gogh, tricked by an evil woman.